Good afternoon, everyone. Sea current course change could mean worse weather for Japan. South China Morning Post, they talk about the sea currents moving and changing that'll bring more snow than average. And lo and behold, Tokyo records lowest temperature in 48 years, biggest snowfall in 4 years, below zero temperatures, and Tokyo residents seeing something they have not seen in a long time, deep snows. Problem was, this was a sea effect snow that has nothing to do with ocean currents, and it also matches up with the Maunder minimum reconstruction expected for Japan cooling. Take a look at Mayon volcano, and of course the American media trying to deflect all the ice on the Hudson as well. It's just a freak of nature, nothing to do with the grand solar minimum coming. And I invite you to join me tomorrow, February 1st from 10 p.m. to midnight with Diamond from Oppenheimer Ranch and Christian from Ice Age Farmer. This will be a great introduction into what a grand solar minimum is, how it is going to affect our societies, and then what we have as measures to mitigate and solutions for you so you can thrive during this time. And while you're watching the video, please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030 and click that bell so you can get the latest updates. I found this article in the South China Morning Post talking about sea current courses changing could mean worse weather for Japan. What it's saying is the current off of Japan, which always has a broad turnout into the Pacific, is just appearing for the first time in 12 years. It has a name. It's known as the Kuroshio Meander. Image here for you, what they're talking about. They say because the water currents are changing that Japan is going to expect more snow around Tokyo when this happens. Now I did go to Null School, which I've linked everything below so you can check out all the stories I'm using in the video. You can see the current they're talking about here side by side. So anyway, it's a good excuse why they're trying to explain Tokyo and prophetically knew more snow and ice was coming. Well, that was a great call because the double typhoons going over Taiwan also indicated a 50-year cycle. Sure enough, minus 4 degrees Celsius. Last time it was that cold, 1970. Also, the cold was not exclusively in Tokyo. It blanketed areas from Tokyo west all the way down to Kyushu Island. But the startling thing about this is sea effect snow coming from Korea. This is a normal event. It has nothing to do with the currents changing off the east coast of Japan. The storm system came from the west. Beautiful images though up around the temples and shrines covered in snow. Tokyo residents shivering in the snow, bicycles covered. And the snow in Japan just gives everything that classical look to it. Japan Times, same lowest temperature in 48 years, but then they gave some snowfall totals, some grabs off the Weather Channel here. Notice all that snow is coming from west to east, not east to west. So this whole current change is just an explanation of what they know with the intensification of the grand solar minimum coming up. And if you look out into the GFS model, you can see to the very northeast there, that low that was centered over Kamchatka Peninsula. Now the grand solar minimum matches up over on the right side to the east, if you will, on the right side. You can see Japan gets several degrees cooler during this time, and it's also mentioned during the Kofun era, the drops in temperatures. This in turn started the conquest of the shoguns in neighboring states to try to grab the food supply. When we go back and look at Chinese dynasties collapsing around the same era, you start to see the same natural occurring patterns. Now it seems the media is really seeing the same crystal ball we are, and they're trying to explain why everything's suddenly getting cooler. You know, it does have to do with oceanic currents. When we look at David Dilley's work, he talks about the pulse of warm water going into the Arctic, and from this point forward there will be no warm pulse of water going up there, so expect more sea ice. Now ocean currents causing west to east formations on dry land over China pulling across Korea over western Japan make no sense. Looking at Asia here, you can see it's cooler than normal, and next week it is set to get near freezing down in Taiwan. It's going to be the coldest wave of the entire winter coming down. They're expecting snow in Okinawa. They're expecting snow in northern Taiwan. The cold already that's sweeping through China, decimating greenhouses, ruining crops, people are trapped, people are dying by the thousands of the cold, and it really is starting to intensify here. So of course the media is going to try to explain it. Just like they've done in the United States media, ice clogs the Hudson River, freak of nature. Yeah, they kept saying it's going to warm to infinity and they'll never see snow again and this ice won't happen, but it is happening. And we saw it happen in the 1700s, including paintings of the time about all the major waterways from Virginia north to New York and Massachusetts frozen. And here we go again on a repeating cycle. Beautiful pictures, but again, they're trying to say it's rare, but it still happens. Now wait, I was told that it's never going to happen again because we're warming the planet with gases. Which brings me to my own volcano. There have been 42 erupting volcanoes going on in the last 12 months. Do you think they're putting a lot of particulates, not so much CO2, but sulfur dioxide and actual particulates into the atmosphere? Perhaps this is the reason that we're seeing more cloud formation, also with cosmic ray increases. But at least I do give South China Morning Post credit for bringing up the sea current changes. That's something we're also going to be contending with here in the Arctic, as David Dilley's research points to. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. The media is not going to come straight out and tell you these facts, what is happening. You'll have to put the information together yourself.